Feel like offensively myself, I feel like had enough chances to win the game, let the team down. That's how I feel.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another video. Big shout out here to the sponsor of the AZ Sports Fan here on YouTube, Foco, as well as Underdog Fantasy. Go ahead and use promo code today, AZSF, and you can get your deposit matched up to $100 if you want to go ahead and play daily fantasy football, fantasy basketball, fantasy baseball, whenever they're in season. Go ahead and download the Underdog Fantasy app today. But ladies and gentlemen, huge topic to obviously dive into today. I appreciate you guys here for being in the chat. If you guys haven't done so already, definitely do me a huge favor. Smack up the like button. Do it for the algorithm, ladies and gentlemen. We got a lot to dive into today. And this isn't one of those things where like, I'm just talking out of nowhere, right? Like, oh, Mike's just bringing up this topic because, something that it's something to talk about. And there is other outlets out there talking about Kyler Murray, right? In the future of what's going on. Now, when we originally talked about when Kyler Murray is coming back, we originally heard the report from Ian Rappaport saying that there is still a evaluation process happening with the Arizona Cardinals to Kyler and the Kyler with the Arizona Cardinals, right? So this isn't foreign, right? This isn't something where I'm just coming up out of the blue and I'm a Kyler Murray hater. No, that's not the case, right? I want Kyler Murray to succeed, but let's call it like it is. Yesterday's game was a bad performance. It was a bad performance from Kyler. It was a bad performance from the offensive line. It was a bad performance for the whole offense in the entirety, right? This isn't all on Kyler, but this is all on that whole offense in general, because we had an opportunity to win this game, and it just kind of fell through the cracks and it fell through our fingers. And in the grand scheme of things here, the Arizona Cardinals couldn't get the job done. It really couldn't. So I want to deep dive into this here a little bit. Obviously, different possibilities, what Kyler Murray has said, because I've actually learned some things today that I didn't know happened. One of them being the fact that the Arizona Cardinals coaching staff ended up leaving the locker room earlier than the players. I don't know if you guys knew this, but I somehow found this out when I was listening to 98.7 Arizona Sports earlier this morning. I just found this out that the coaching staff left the locker room earlier than the players. Now, obviously, when you hear something like that, the coaching staff is usually like, okay, let's, we're dipping, right? But we're not going to go ahead and get involved where we're going to allow the players to either yell at each other or coach each other up. Because in the grand scheme of things, the first half for the defense was very, very bad. Very, very bad. But you got to give kudos to where kudos is due. The defense really turned it up in the second half, and obviously the rest is history, right? But that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. But that's really cool too at the same time, because we do have players in this locker room that are trying to hold people accountable. And that's definitely something that we've heard from this whole JG regime of, we are going to hold people accountable. And I love it. I truly do. Now, we're going to dive into what Kyler Murray has said in this game, or actually post-game. And to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, what we've been hearing so far is that Kyler Murray has really, really taken this loss super, super hard. Now, we're going to dive into what his post-game comments were, and we're going to kind of obviously dissect it and do a deep dive in terms, I guess not a deep dive, but really kind of talk about what he said. Now, Kyler Murray did come out here and seem a lot more mature. Absolutely. Yeah. I think Kyler Murray is looked very and sounded very, very mature. There was a video floated around in the whole X/Twitter world of CJ Stroud looking for Kyler Murray. Like, Kyler Murray wasn't dabbing anybody up at the end of the game. Kyler Murray was sitting on the sideline very, very distraught, right? Very, very upset, very, very maybe upset about himself. We don't really know, right? But CJ Stroud literally had to walk off the field and find a Kyler Murray sitting on the bench and basically dab each other up. And now obviously they had an exchange of words. You couldn't really hear exactly what they said, but obviously there's a mutual respect with two quarterbacks in the league. One with CJ Stroud and being a young rookie quarterback and having a lot of success. And then we got Kyler Murray, where we still don't 100% know if Kyler Murray is the future heading into 2024. But this next 6 games are going to be very telling. Very, very telling. After week, what was it? So this one was week 11. After week 10 versus the Atlanta Falcons, I think a lot of people were pretty confident, pretty excited about Kyler Murray. But after this week, there's a lot of people already talking about the draft. A lot of people already talking about the possibility of the Arizona Cardinals maybe trading back, because right now they're sitting at the 2nd overall spot, or maybe even getting a quarterback. So people are talking about it right now, ladies and gentlemen. People are talking about it. And it's just kind of one of those things where obviously you get your flowers when you win, right? The quarterback is one of the biggest, he's the guy that gets most of the credit when we win. And it goes on the opposite side of the field as well. When you lose, he also does get a lot of the flack as well. So definitely very unfortunate for the position of where Kyler Murray is, but $230 million / franchise quarterback, right? I mean, we expect a win in Houston here, and it just didn't work out that way. Now let's dive right into what Kyler Murray has said about Week 11 loss against the Texans. Let's dive into it.
I feel like offensively myself, I feel like had enough chances to win the game, let the team down. That's how I feel.
How do you balance that with the good that you have out there?
It wasn't enough good. Yeah, we made some plays, but just like I said, just felt like the defense, they did what they needed to do, and we didn't hold up our end of the bargain on our side. So that was frustrating. I feel like had too many opportunities not to win that game.
I agree. I don't know anybody in this chat that doesn't agree with Kyler Murray, right? We're calling a spade. We knew exactly who lost this game, right? We knew it. It was the offense. And I can't solely put this on Kyler Murray, because you could also blame this on the play calling. You could also name this on not having our wide receiver or big wide receiver, right? Michael Wilson. You can name it on everything, right? But like we said a little earlier, when you're the quarterback, you get a lot of the blame when things go bad. When things go good, you also do get a lot of, a lot of flowers, right? So wait, let me say that again. I think I kind of messed that up. So when you are good, you get a lot of the flowers. If you play bad, you get a lot of the negativity that goes around. Why didn't you win, right? Do you still have rust? What did you possibly see in those, right? Because even the announcers has come out and said that Kyler Murray, his throwing or his passing in this game, we can't speak for the Atlanta Falcons game, but in this game, there were some obvious missed throws, right? Especially that one to Trey McBride where he kind of threw it on the ground and it really wasn't a spiral, but it was kind of one of those flimsy balls and it hit the ground. Or maybe those balls that were deep to Marquise Hollywood Brown. Some might say if they were actually deep to Marquise Hollywood Brown, then maybe Derek Stingley couldn't catch up to him, right? I don't know. I know that interception was a little short for Marquise. Marquise probably could have burnt Derek Stingley, but I don't know, man. I'm starting to get a little worried. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm starting to get a little worried. And this isn't going to be one of those streams that I'm saying, Kyler Murray, it should be done. No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that the team tankers out there, the people that want to lose and all they're thinking about is a draft pick, and they're not going to be expecting this type of talk. This type of talk comes when you are a 1st overall pick, 2nd overall pick, 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft. This talk comes along with it. Kyler Murray right now had a total of 8 games. 8 games. 8 games to prove that he's the franchise quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals heading into 2024, right? After the Atlanta Falcons game, we saw a huge, huge drive where we ended up obviously winning the game in the Atlanta Falcons. We were all expecting that same type of drive towards the end of this game, right? And there was a lot of opportunities for the coaching staff and Kyler Murray to get this win, right? As Kyler Murray has said, he feels like he let this team down. He feels like the offense let this team down. I agree. I agree. Now, we could also blame Jonathan Gannon or Drew Petzing, whoever is the genius behind the fact of going for an every 4th down, it almost kind of feels like, because yes, if we went for that field goal and if we went for that extra kick after that touchdown, this literally would have been a touchdown game, right? Or I'm sorry, not a touchdown. It would have been a field goal game, which we would put this in the hands of Matt Prater. And obviously the rest is history from there, right? Yeah, this goes on everybody. This goes on everybody. The only person I'm going to give flowers to in this game is the defense on the second half of the game. Because on the offense, the defense in the first half, it was looking pretty darn bad that it looks like we couldn't stop a nosebleed to save our lives. But they made some second half adjustments, and they looked pretty darn good in the second half. They looked good, right? They forced 3 turnovers. 3 picks on CJ Stroud, ladies and gentlemen. 3 picks. And the Arizona Cardinals could not score any points on any of those picks. That's bad. That's not good. That's not good for your franchise quarterback that's making over $200 million. $230 million, and you can't move the ball. Or you can't score points. I'm sorry, he could move the ball. You can't score points. That's not good. It's not good at all. He's got 6 games left. But I'm not going to lie to you, ladies and gentlemen. I know a lot of people are looking into the draft, and a lot of people are saying, oh, right, Marvin Harrison Jr., you're an Arizona Cardinal, right? Everybody always has those jokes. You got 6 games left in the season. 6 games. We got the Rams, which, let's be honest, how many times have the Arizona Cardinals beat the Rams in the last 5 years? 1 or twice, right? So we got the Rams, we got the Steelers in Pittsburgh, and then we got the 49ers right after them. We got, I think, the Chicago Bears after them. And then we got some other pretty tough matchups. Now, obviously, any given Sunday, the Cardinals could come out here and go on a 6-game winning streak, right? Maybe. Probably not realistic. But it could happen any given Sunday, especially if you have your franchise quarterback. But man, oh man, oh man, being right now that there was struggle in this game against the Texans, now we're already starting to hear people talk and starting to hear people chatter, right? Is Kyler Murray the future? Is he going to be the guy moving forward? I mean, right now it's too early to tell. You got 6 games left. Jonathan Gannon wants to win. Monty Ossenfort wants to win. Everybody in this organization wants to win. And I know for the fans out there that are really looking at draft capital, that's okay. That's fine. That's your prerogative, right? You do what you want. There's more hurt that's going to come out of that. And it's all going to come with talks, right? We don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the Cardinals do end up with the 2nd overall pick and do decide to go Marvin Harrison Jr., right? And we do decide to stay with Kyler Murray. Perfect. Okay, well, awesome. That works, right? For some Cardinal fans. That's their dream scenario. You got Marvin Harrison Jr., Kyler Murray comes back, then that's cool. Okay, that works out for you. But to me, if you're the 2nd overall pick in the NFL draft and Kyler Murray had an 8-game sample size, and we heard a report coming out from Ian Rappaport that usually has it right on the head, before he came back, he said that this is an evaluation process for the Arizona Cardinals and for Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray for the Arizona Cardinals and the Arizona Cardinals for Kyler Murray. He came out and said it. He told us. So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can choose to believe that there's going to be a world where we can live in La La Land, right? And we're the 2nd overall pick and we don't have to worry about a quarterback change. Yeah, maybe. Okay, cool. Right? No more drama. But do you all remember the offseason that we had Josh Rosen? Do you all remember the offseason that we had 3 wins with Steve Wilks? What ended up happening after that? Steve Wilkes ended up getting fired. We ended up moving off Josh Rosen, and it all started because the Arizona Cardinals ended up going to a pro day of Kyler Murray. That's when it all started, and people came out and said, it's okay. This is what the GM is supposed to do. You're supposed to evaluate. The Arizona Cardinals pulled the rug out under Josh Rosen's feet, and we moved off just like that. Now, there is more implications. There's more implications in this one, right? This is not a apples to apples, right? This is a completely different scenario, and I'm fully aware of that, right? We got Kyler Murray with a $230 million contract compared to a rookie quarterback that really wasn't getting paid very much money. So I get it. Two different scenarios. But I still do think the Arizona Cardinals would do something like that if they're sitting at the second overall pick in the NFL draft, right? Or at least think of the process of that. And I think that's kind of what really worries me. That's what really worries me with the idea of, I still don't think anybody is safe. I still don't think anybody is safe. Truly. I don't think anybody's safe. We have people already talking about Caleb Williams. We have already people talking about Drake May. And that's after 2 games of Kyler Murray. One, he got a score-winning drive at the end, and then Houston Texans came. We went to Houston, and we ended up losing. We're 1-1 with Kyler Murray right now. 2-9 on the season, but we're 1-1 with Kyler Murray right now. We got a tough stretch coming our way. And I've said this before, winnable games, right? Winnable games. The Rams have had our number for years and years and years and years. We've had 1 or 2 wins against them for the last 2 or 3, 5 years. Whenever Sean McVay was hired, we've had at least 1 or 2 wins against them. At least. That's it. So it doesn't favor the Arizona Cardinals to play the Rams. Although the Rams are struggling, I feel like they somehow always kind of find a way to kind of stick it to us. And on top of that, we're playing a Steelers team, which I'm never going to discount anything Mike Tomlin does. I'm not a big fan of Kenny Pickett. I don't think he's the future for them. But anything Mike Tomlin is a wonderful head coach. Never had a losing season. Never did. And this most likely will end up a second in a row losing season for the Arizona Cardinals. Most likely. So here's the question, right? Here's the question. What do you, people in the chat, need to see from Kyler Murray in order for him to stay safe? Is it Kyler Murray wins? Do you think Kyler Murray just needs to win? Do you just think you want to see improvement? Or do you just not think Kyler Murray's in the hot seat at all, right? What do you guys think in the future of Kyler Murray from here on out? Let me know here in the chat, and obviously we'll kind of dive into it together because I think it would be easy. I think it would be easy if we were the second overall pick and we just go Marvin Harrison Jr., right? I think it would be easy, truly. But you can't ignore the fact that there is always going to be talks around the idea of the Cardinals moving off of a Kyler Murray. And I don't want to start over. I truly do not want to start over. Because this is our second in a row. This is our second in a row year with a bad season. Cliff Kingsbury with 4 wins, and now we only have 2 wins right now with 6 games left. So I don't want to be put in another situation where we just have to go with another rookie quarterback and it's bumps and bruises, right? I don't want to see it. But let's see what the chat has to say. We got somebody in the chat says, we need to see W's versus the Rams and not miss so many throws. Okay. So is it just the Rams? Are you expecting at least 4 wins, 5 wins, 6 wins? What are you guys expecting? I guess let me be a little bit more specific. Are you expecting a specific type of number in terms of wins for the rest of the season of Kyler Murray? Are you expecting to see his deep throw being more accurate? Are you expecting for the Arizona Cardinals to finish strong? What are you expecting? This is going past the Rams. We're not even talking about just the Rams. We're talking about for the future, right? We're talking about these next 6 games. What do you need to see from Kyler Murray in order for us to say, okay, Kyler Murray is going to be continuing to be our franchise quarterback in 2024? That is, I guess, the main question there. Somebody on the chat says 6'11". Okay. Somebody on the chat says, how likely do you think is it that we get Drake May? If we're sitting at the second overall spot in the NFL draft, I think anything's on the table. I truly, truly do. I truly, truly do. We've seen this organization do something like that. We've seen this Arizona Cardinal organization. I've said this once and I'll say this again. I don't think anybody's safe. We saw DeAndre Hopkins get released. We saw Isaiah Simmons get traded off for a 7th-round pick, which at the end of the day, I mean, let him see what he can do with the New York Giants. We've seen this Arizona Cardinal organization make moves like this, right? I don't think anybody's safe, truly, regardless of a $260 million contract. Regardless. I think if we're sitting at the 2nd overall spot in the NFL draft, and I know some people are saying, Marvin Harrison Jr., you're our guy. You're our guy. I don't think it's that simple. I don't think it's that simple, especially if we're finishing off at the 2nd overall spot in the NFL draft. Especially if we are. Now, can we trade back and accumulate more picks? Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely, right? You can definitely do that. Or you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. and move off, right? And just see what you can do with the Texans pick, right? Those would be stress-free type of moves. We're not in those boat. We're not in that boat. We're about stress. And we know that as Cardinal fans. I've never been more stressed in my life, except for when we were the 1st overall pick in the NFL draft. When we were Josh Rosen, when we were a Josh Rosen-led Cardinals team. I've never been more stressed for the 1st overall pick. I kid you not. Because of all the rumors, because of everything that was put out there. And I don't believe for a second that it literally took Steve Keim and Cliff Kingsbury the last 20 minutes to figure out Kyler Murray's the guy. Come on, don't feed me and don't give me that load of BS. You know darn well that Kyler Murray was going to be your guy because Cliff Kingsbury was going to be the new head coach. You wanted to pair them up together. That's the plan. That was the plan. But what do you need to see from Kyler Murray? That's the question. Somebody in the chat says trade for CeeDee and draft Harrison. Here's the thing. Whoever's talking about CeeDee Lamb, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. We should have continued to talk about it when it was draft time. That's when we should have talked about it. CeeDee Lamb should have been the guy, right? We shouldn't have made any excuses. Oh, Isaiah Simmons, Swiss Army knife. Now, I was excited. I was like, cool, let's see what this guy can do, right? Woo, let's go. The star of the NFL Combine. But honestly, CeeDee Lamb was always the guy that I wanted for the Arizona Cardinals because of the connection with him and Kyler. He was always the guy I wanted. So I don't want to hear anybody say, let's trade for CeeDee. It's not going to happen. There's no way in heck that the Dallas Cowboys are ever going to trade away CeeDee Lamb. It's not going to happen. It just ain't. He has a better opportunity to win anything right now with the Cowboys than he does with the Cardinals. It's just what it is. Somebody in the chat says Hollywood's effort is not helping at all. Honestly, Hollywood that's a different topic for a different day. Hollywood is wild right now, man. It really is wild. Someone in the chat says, stop making excuses for Kyler. Isn't the guy from, we got him in the first, got him a number 1 buddy receiver, Brown. So what, all of a sudden the Ohio guy is better than Brown? Well, that's a good question. That's a good question. Here's where I stand in the situation. And if you guys have been following me for quite some time, I've said this from the jump. And I get it. Not everybody watches every single stream. Not everybody watches this every single video, right? And I get it. Some people look at me and say, oh, all you talk about is Kyler Murray. You want him to, right? Kyler Murray. Keep in mind that I'm an Arizona Cardinal fan. And if Kyler Murray's our quarterback, then of course, I'm going to talk up Kyler Murray because I believe he's the guy. If the Cardinals decide to move off of him and we go off to a different route, Caleb Williams, Drake May, then you better bet your bottom dollar that that's where my loyalty is going to go to. Wherever Kyler Murray goes, I would say the same thing like I said to Isaiah Simmons, Josh Dobbs, and everybody else we traded. Good luck on your endeavors. Hopefully your career goes good. That's all I got. But this year is very pivotal, and I've said this from the jump. This year is very pivotal for Kyler Murray. He needs to come out here and prove that he can be the Arizona Cardinals quarterback for the future. So far, we're 1-1. We got 6 games left. Let's see what happens. What's up, Deus? Appreciate the contribution. He says, our fan base is the definition of insanity. Keep doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome. We need a new QB. I feel bad for K1. Well, I guess let me ask you. Okay, I guess let me ask you this, Deus, if you don't mind. So why do you feel bad about K1? Do you feel like we haven't put him in the best position, or we haven't put him in the best position to succeed? Or Or do you feel bad for him because of, like, why do you feel bad for K1, especially if you're saying we need a new QB? So let me know here in the chat. I'm super curious. I'm super curious because this isn't going to be one of those situations where I'm like, my mind isn't set up right now, but it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean? My mind isn't set up whether I want the Cardinals to draft a quarterback or whether I want Kyler Murray to be the guy, right? I think it would be easier if Kyler Murray is the guy, but I need Kyler Murray to be top 10, top 12. That's what I need Kyler Murray to be. I don't want Kyler Murray to be a middle of the road QB. I can't live through that. I just don't want to live through that. I need Kyler Murray to be top 10, top 12 type of QB in the NFL. I don't want to live in a world where it's, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? These next 6 games are pivotal. And if you can do it, you can do it. If you can't do it, then we're going to find out here pretty soon in 6 games. This game was very winnable. And for the people out there that says he has rust, I agree with you. I think Kyler Murray did have rust. And whether he doesn't want to agree with it or not, Kyler Murray has rust. It's true. But it's up to him to shake off that rust and up to him to really come out here and prove that he's a franchise quarterback. This is his second game after his big knee injury, and I'm fully aware of that, but it's still the NFL at the bottom line, right? It's still the NFL. Right now feels the most uncertainty, and it could be because you expect a $230 million quarterback or you expect a franchise quarterback to win you those type of games, right? This wasn't a blowout. This wasn't a game that we just completely got shut out. No, not at all. This was a game that was very winnable. And just like Kyler Murray himself said out of his own mouth that he feels like this is on him. Let's dive into it.
I feel like offensively myself, I feel like had enough chances to win the game, let the team down. That's how I feel.
Boom. He said it himself. He said it himself. He feels like he let the team down. Offensively, they had multiple chances to win this game. And that's exactly what I said in my post-game reaction. This isn't one of those things where it's bag on Kyler Murray, bag on Kyler. No. It's on the contrary. He said it himself. The Arizona Cardinals offense really, they should have took over this game. The defense did everything they can. 3 turnovers and you get 0 points out of that. That was the deciding factor of this game. Let's call it like it is. And yes, I agree. Our offensive line does not look great. I 100% agree with you. Our wide receiving core does not look that great either, right? Especially with not having a big body wide receiver. The moment that you see Greg Dortch getting the most receptions and the most yards, you know something's wrong. You know something's wrong. Marquise Hollywood Brown so far in these 2 games has not done anything. Now, can you blame that on Kyler? Short throwing? Do you blame that on Marquise for not running the timely route? I don't know. We don't know. The only person who really knows is the coaching staff, right? And the players. That's who knows. We'll see. We'll see. Somebody in the chat says, why is nobody blaming the offensive scheme? That's a great question. Oh, that's a fantastic question. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Drew Petzing has yet to prove that we can win consistently. That is going to be something that we'll be focusing on a lot more. I think what has happened was we've seen a Josh Dobbs-led offense where we just did enough to stay relevant, and then we moved on to Clayton Tune, and then there was a little hype about Clayton Tune, very small, very minimal, Tune hype, and then Kyler Murray came back. So with what has transpired in this year so far, there has been little room to really evaluate and focus down on the offensive scheme, right? I think that's why. But to be honest with you, now we're going to start focusing on that more, right? What is going on with Drew Petzing? That's going to be something we're definitely going to be focusing on a lot more. Now that we have Kyler Murray, 2 games under his belt, he's got 6 games left, and I really do hope that we can pull off some wins. And I get it. For the people out there saying, you're going to ruin draft capital, why do you want to waste, great draft capital? Well, for the very reason of uncertainty. Kyler Murray doesn't want to lose games. How much more do I have to say that? Kyler Murray doesn't want to lose games. Kyler Murray wants to prove that he's the guy. Kyler Murray wants to prove that he's the guy. He doesn't want to lose. He wants to win. Somebody in the chat. So Dea says, I respect K1's maturity since KK, but being mature and actually producing are two different things. Okay. I see you there, Dea. Appreciate you answering my question. This next 6 games are going to be very telling. Very, very telling. And like I said a little earlier, this is not something where I'm just panicking, right? Although I panic very easily, and that's the truth. We are already hearing it. Already. Even when Ian Rappaport came out and said it. And like I said earlier, he's usually right on the head. Kyler Murray coming back. This is an evaluation process. Kyler Murray with the Cardinals. Cardinals with Kyler Murray. Are you the guy that's going to be able to get this going, right? Now, if Kyler Murray does end up moving off of, I don't know if you give Drew Petzing a pass and see what he can do with the next guy, right? We don't 100% know. It's all kind of TBD at this very moment. But I think the biggest question right now is the fact that the uncertainty is there. The seed has been placed, right? Kyler needs to win in order for us to move off of this idea that the second overall pick cannot be anything else other than a quarterback, right? Kyler Murray needs to win. Since I'm in the chat, says, I guarantee you, if we won and took those field goals, then no one will be talking about Murray, man. If Murray wanted, let's keep it going. Murray wanted to go, then I get it. But that's all on JG and taking those field goals. I agree with that. Oh, we said that on a post-game reaction too, right? A lot of the times, you got to suck up your pride and take those field goals. The bottom line, I agree with that 100%. I've said that before. If you take the field goal and you take the extra point and not go for the 2-point conversion, that's a 4-point swing. How many points did we lose by? We lost by 5 points. Guess what? A field goal would have won you that game. And you're right. You're 100% right. If the Arizona Cardinals were 2-0 right now with Kyler Murray, nobody would be talking about this. You're 100% correct. 100% correct. It's not the world we live in, though. It's not the world we live in. The whole decisions that are made with the coaching staff, with how Kyler Murray plays in the game, it's all a deciding factor to what happens at the end of the game, whether it's a win or a loss. Whether it's a win or it's a loss. That's what really people look at. That's what people really look at. Somebody on the chat says, if we draft a QB, it better be Bo Nix and not Crybaby Caleb. I don't know. I don't know who's going to be, but I'm just saying you got to be prepared for it. That's all I'm saying. Somebody on the chat says, we blame the QB for everything until Kyler comes back. Now he's back and everything around him sucks. We blame the QB for everything until Kyler Murray comes back, and now he's back and everything around him sucks. Well, I mean, everything's the same, right? We have James Conner. The only person we didn't have was Michael Wilson, right? That was it. Now, can we see Michael Wilson come back in this next game versus the Rams? If Kyler Murray wins against the Rams, I almost promise you we're not talking about this. I almost promise you we're not talking about this. Because like I said a little earlier, wins cures all. That's it. That's the deciding factor. You don't have to be a rocket scientist. You don't have to be a astronaut engineer or whatever the heck Josh Dobbs is to figure out how you stay relevant in the NFL. It's W's, it's wins. That's how you stay relevant. Someone in the chat says, depends on a lot of NFC teams falling off. If we win out, we see the Seahawks. Oh my goodness. We have people saying we're going to win out? Woo. My goodness. I mean, anything could happen. We got 6 games left. Anything could happen. I don't see a scenario where the Arizona Cardinals win out. Am I negative, chat? Am I being too negative here? Let me know here in the chat. Am I being too negative? I don't see a scenario where the Arizona Cardinals win out. But that's the thing. We're not expecting a win out. We're not expecting a win out. We're expecting Kyler Murray to run this offense efficiently. We're expecting Kyler Murray to get some wins, to show that he can make those throws. That's what we're expecting for Kyler Murray. W's come with, obviously, playing good. Wow. I don't know if we win now, chat. Okay, I mean, I'm surprised we actually even have people saying we're gonna win out. Okay, well, hey, kudos to you. Somebody in the chat says, I love to see more Dortch. He's a gamer. Honestly, the fact that Dortch is our biggest, the guy that's gotten most of the work for our offense is very, very concerning, especially for Marquise. Especially for Marquise. Something that just says not win out, but if we win 3/4 6 games, losses to the Eagles, Niners, and maybe the Steelers or Rams. Okay. Well, that's the thing. I mean, you're right. If the Cardinals can win like 2 or 3 more games, I don't think anybody's talking about this. But look at the rest of the record. Look at the rest of the season that we have. We got the Rams that has had our number for years. We beat the Rams once or twice in the last 5 years. Whenever the Sean McVay ended up getting hired, we beat them a certain minimal amount of times. We got the Rams, Steelers, the 49ers, the Bears, the Eagles, and the Seahawks. So the winnable game is going to be the Rams, right? The guy that's had our number, right? The Rams are the winnable game for the Arizona Cardinals. And that one might be tough. I don't think the Arizona Cardinals are going to win out. I truly don't. But you still do need Kyler Murray to be evaluated. You still do. Somebody in the chat says, to be fair, Houston was the hardest matchups rest of the season. Well, here's the crazy thing. And I don't know how to pronounce your name. I apologize. But here's the crazy thing. Houston, hearing somebody say Houston is the toughest matchup for the Arizona Cardinals or the rest of the season or however you said it, I didn't expect Houston to be as good as they are. What does Houston have that we don't? That's the question you guys should take to yourself. What does Houston have that we don't? Right? Options are better quarterback, better weapons, better offensive line, better defense, better coaching. What does Houston have that we don't? What is it? It's got to be something, right? Because Houston right now is rolling with a rookie wide receiver that's playing phenomenal, a rookie quarterback that's playing absolutely phenomenal, and they got a rookie head coach over there. And guess what? They don't care about draft stock because they gave up their first round pick. And it only took them not very long to rebuild to what they are now. So, wait, I just see some breaking news here in the chat. Let me confirm real quick. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news coming out of the world of the Arizona Cardinals. Kazir White is out, is being placed on injured reserve. Ladies and gentlemen, breaking news coming out of the world of the Arizona Cardinals. Kazir White is getting placed on IR with a bicep injury. What a blow. What a blow. Oh my goodness. When it rains, it pours, ladies and gentlemen. When it rains, it pours. Wow. Dang. That's tough. That's tough. Y'all, man, we can't catch a break, ladies and gentlemen. We can't catch a break to save our lives. Bicep injury for Kazir White. He's going on IR. With 6 games left, he's gonna be missing most of the season. The remaining season, anyways. That's a blow. That's a huge blow. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to place it there. Because honestly, in the grand scheme of things here, ladies and gentlemen, I get it. People are coming out here and saying, oh, yeah, we got the 7th overall pick. Marvin Harrison is the guy. Don't be too quick to say that's it. Man. You're just watching. All right, guys. I don't know what else to say at this point. When it rains, it pours. When it rains, it pours. All right, I'm going to cut this short, man. I can't right now. All right, I appreciate you guys for tuning in here. As always, we're going to close up shop here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let me know who here are the people that are watching this on playback. If you think I am being a little too dramatic, you think the Cardinals won't get a quarterback if they're the second overall, let me know here in the chat below. Appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. As always, have a great rest of your day now. Go Cards.